Good evening, students. Welcome back to 7th Standard Social Online class. Students, we are learning History Unit 3 Emergence of New Kingdoms in South India, later Cholas and Pandyas. In our previous class, we have learnt about the administrative system of later Cholas and their contribution to art and architecture, religion, irrigation, and their trading activities. Today, we are going to see about the later Pandyas. The later Pandyas introduction. Pandyas were one of the three ancient Tamil dynasties that ruled South India from 4th century BC, but intermittently. So during 4th century BC in South India, that is Tamil Nadu, was ruled by three ancient Tamil kings, Chera, Chola and Pandya. The Pandyas were one among them. Korkai, associated with pearl fisheries, is believed to have been their early capital and port. Korkai, currently we call Tuticorin, is mainly famous for pearl fishing. It was said that it was their early capital. They moved to Madurai later, as many early Tamil inscriptions of Pandyas have been unearthed in Madurai and its surroundings. Then they moved to Madurai. So many inscriptions and copper plates were discovered in Madurai, and Madurai became their next capital. Under the Pandya kings of the Sangam age, Madurai was a great center of culture. During the period of Sangam age, they made Madurai as a great center of culture. The poets and writers of Tamil language, they gathered in Madurai and they established Sangam for the development of Tamil language. The Pandyas had re-established their strong position in South Tamil Nadu by the end of 6th century BC, after eliminating the rule of Calabras. So from 4th century BC to 6th century, Tamil Nadu was ruled by the Calabras. After removing this Calabras, these Pandyas again re-established their position in Tamil Nadu. But they could not resist the rising power of the later Cholas, who ruled South India from 9th to 13th century BC. During this period, from 9th to 13th century, they are not able to oppose the later Cholas. So this period, the Cholas occupy the dominant in Tamil Nadu. Thereafter, taking advantage of the declining of Chola power, the later Pandyas re-established their authority. So at the end of the 13th century BC, the Cholas began to decline. Taking this advantage, the later Pandyas again established their power in Tamil Nadu, and they ruled up to 6th century BC. Students, you know this year, during the Sangam period, that is before 4th century BC, Tamil Nadu was ruled by the early Pandyas. Then during 4th century to 6th century, Tamil Nadu was ruled by the Calabras. From 9th to 13th century, Tamil Nadu was ruled by the Cholas. From 13th, end of the 13th to 16th century, Tamil Nadu was again re-established by the Pandyas. Now we will see the revival of Pandya Kingdom, 600 to 920 AD. Kadungon, he recovered Pandya territory from the Calabras towards the close of 6th century. At the end of the 6th century, the Kadungon, he was a Pandya dynasty, he recaptured the territory from the hands of the Calabras. He was succeeded by two others. Arikesari Maravarman was the first strong Pandya ruler. Note this one. The first strong Pandya ruler was Arikesari Maravarman. He came to power. He ascended the throne in 642 AD. He was a contemporary of Mahendravarman I and Narasimhavarman I. Contemporary means same period person. Mahendravarman I and Narasimhavarman I, they were the Pallava king. They ruled Pallava dynasty. At the same time, in south, this Arikesari Maravarman, he ruled Pandya dynasty. Many inscriptions and copper plate praise his victory over his counterpart Chera, Chola, Pallavas and Sinhalese. That means there were many inscriptions and copper plate they discovered in Madurai and they give the detailed information about this Arikesari Maravarman. He fought with the Cheras, Cholas, Pallavas and Sinhalese. Arikesari Maravarman is identified with the Koon Pandian. He was otherwise called Koon Pandian, that means the persecutor of Jains. He gave tortures to Jain people. Initially, this Arikesari Maravarman, he was a Jainist. He followed Jainism. But after that, because of Saivite saint Thiruñana Samandar, he was one of the Nayanmar. He converted Arikesari into Saivism. So after this conversion, Arikesari Maravarman, he is alleged to have impaled around 8,000 Jains on stacks. He hanged to death 8,000 Jain people on stacks. Though the number is an aggregated one, the anti-Jain attitude of Arikesari after his conversion to Saivism cannot be doubted. So this activity that was done only after his conversion to Saivism. After Arikesari, the greatest of the dynasty was Jatila Barandaga Nedunjediyan. He was otherwise called Varaguna I. He ruled Pandya Kingdom in the year 756 to 815 AD. He was called as the donor of Velvikudi plate. Note this one. Who was the donor of Velvikudi plate? This Jatila Parandaga Nedunjediyan. Nedunjediyan, he expanded the Pandya territory, include Tanjore, Tiruchirappalli, Salem and Coimbatore district. He captured these places from Cholas. Nedunjediyan's successors, Srimara, Sri Vallabha and Varaguna too. They were successfully defeated by the Pallavas. These two Pandya kings were defeated by Pallavas. Later, they could not face the rising Chola dynasty under Parandaga I. Parandaga I defeated the Pandya king Rajasimha. He escaped from the country in 920. This ended the Pandya rule revived by Kadungon. So in 920 AD, the Kadungon line, Pandyas, came to an end. Again they raised the Pandya Kingdom in the year 1190. The Chola viceroyalty became weak in Pandya country after the death of Adi Rajendra. He was the last king of Vijayalaya line. Eventually, the Pandya Kingdom could emerge as the only leading Tamil dynasty in the year 13th century. Madurai continued to be their capital. Now, Kayal was their great port. Note this one. Kayal was their one of the important port and was also the busiest port. Marco Polo, he came from Venice. He visited Kayal for 2 times in 1288 and 1293. He tells us that this port town was full of ships from Arabia and China. That means the Pandya kings, they have trade contact with the Arabians and Chinese and bustling with business activities. Marco Polo, he hailed the Pandya kingdoms as the richest and the most splendid province in the world. Marco Polo, he described Pandya kingdom as the richest kingdom and the most splendid province in the world. Together with Ceylon, he added, it produced most of the gems and pearls that are found in the world. So during this period, he visited so many pearls, gems in Madurai along with Ceylon. In his travel account, he recorded the incident of Sati and the polygamy practiced by the kings. So during he visited in Madurai, he saw the practice of Sati. What is the meaning of Sati? If the husband died, the wife should be died along with his funeral fire. And polygamy means the king, he married many wives. Now we will see Sadayavarman Sundarapandiyan. The illustrious ruler of the second Pandya kingdom was Sadayavarman Jadavarman. He was otherwise called as Jadavarman Sundarapandiyan. He ruled Pandya kingdom in the year 1251 to 1268. He brought the entire Tamil Nadu under his control. He extended his kingdom up to Nellore in Andhra. He held the Hoysalas in check. He defeated the Hoysala people. The Chera ruler, the chief of the Malanadu, accepted his feudatory position and paid tribute to Sundarapandian. He defeated the Chera ruler and he captured Malanadu and put under his control. The Chera ruler accepted his domination or suzerainty and he paid tax to the Sundarapandian. Emboldened by the decline of the Chola state, the Boja king of Malwa region, Veera Someswara, he challenged Sundarapandian. In a war at Kannanur, note this one. In war at Kannanur, Sundarapandian defeated Someswara. Sundarapandian succeeded in establishing his authority over the chieftains of Kadalur, Kanjipuram in northern Tamil Nadu, Arcad and Salem in western area. There were 2 or 3 co-regents who ruled simultaneously along with Sundarapandian. Co-regent is nothing but guardian. Vikramapandian and Veerapandian. After Sundarapandian, Maravarman Kulasegaran ruled successfully for the period of 40 years. After the death of Sundarapandian, Maravarman Kulasegaran, he ruled for 40 years, giving peace in the country. During his period, the people led a peaceful and prosperity life. He had 2 sons. This Maravarman Kulasegaran had 2 sons. The king's appointment of Veerapandian as a co-regent provoked the other son, Sundarapandian, who killed his father, Maravarman Kulasegaran. The Maravarman Kulasegaran appointed his eldest son, Veerapandian, but the younger son, Sundarapandian, he killed his father. In the civil war that aroused, Veerapandian won and became firmly established his kingdom. The defeated Sundarapandian, he fled to Delhi and took refuge under the protection of Alauddin Khalji. Note this one important GK question. Veerapandian, he captured the kingdom. Sundarapandian, he escaped to Delhi where he took refuge and he asked the help of Alauddin Khalji. This provided the opening for the invasion of Malik Kafur. Note this one. After Malik Kafur invasion, the Pandyan Kingdom came to be divided among a number of kings from the main ruling Pandyas family. In Madurai, a Muslim state subordinate to Delhi Sultan came to be established. Note this one. During this period, after the Malik Kafur invasion, Pandya Kingdom was divided into number of small kingdoms. And Madurai became a subordinate state to the Delhi Sultan. Students, today we have learned the later Pandyas. It was started by Kadungon and he ruled 600 to 920. That Kadungon line came to an end. Then after that it was survived by Sadayavarman, that is Jadavarman, and they ruled up to 6th century AD. The remaining portions will be seen in the next class. Today I will give some home assignment. You study for one time and write in your homework note. Thank you.